Ask the Messengers, the program that deals with substance abuse, real people telling real stories. Hosted by Pastor Lester Lewis, co-host Charlize Wilkerson and Leroy Carey. Produced by David Humphreys. Where there is addiction, there is a chance for recovery. We're trying to help save lives on Ask the Messengers.
Today on Ask the Messengers, our topic is There's No Hope with Coke. We interviewed over 200 people, and many of them shared with us their cocaine use and how it affected their lives and their families. We're going to hear from many of these individuals, and they're going to share with us the day they started. They're going to talk about their rock bottom when they hit their lowest point. They're also going to talk about their recovery and what keeps them clean. Today on Ask the Messengers, there's no hope with Coke.
I'm a recovering addict. I just want to say, I started using drugs. My first drug of choice, well, I said that my first drug of choice. My first drug was alcohol. At the age of about 4 years old, my father used to take me to the supermarket on Saturday. He would always buy me a short dog, a can of beer. Back in the 60s, they had these little half cans of beer, and we called them short dogs. From that was the gateway drug. I was about 6 years old when my brothers gave me my first line of heroin at 6 years old. And my disease just progressed for years. My drug of choice ended up being crack cocaine.
My drug of choice ended up cocaine, crack cocaine.
I'm a recovering addict, 13 years. My drug of choice was crack cocaine.
My first choice of drug was marijuana. And when I first used marijuana, it made me feel good because it made me laugh. Because, before then, that's all I was going through, pain, and always was crying inside. The scared, shaky, insecure little girl I was. But yeah, my first choice of drug was marijuana. And then from that, it was the gateway to open up to cigarettes and everything else. But when I picked up that crack cocaine, it was something. I was doing things I never thought I would do.
My drug of choice was crack cocaine. When I was introduced to crack cocaine, it was an instant love affair of sorts. And I used for a lot of years.
I would have to say my first experience with crack cocaine, I may have been 22, 23.
When I think back on it, almost immediately, because whatever drug I was introduced to, I was more than willing to try it if it looked cool, or if the people who were doing it led me to believe that, it was cool. They looked cool doing it. I wanted to look cool, so I did it too. I began to cocaine.
Today's show is all about There's No Hope with Coke. Many times people get involved with drugs to self-medicate, to try to bring some healing to some of the hurt that they have. But there is no healing with cocaine. It's only harmful. There's only the place of despair. And so today we're sharing with you these stories to let you know that many tried, but also many have failed to find hope in cocaine.
I'm a person who went through 30 treatment centers, 4 mental institutions, and it was up to this last time back in '02 that I stopped for good, and it took the homelessness.
Started doing things, against the law, like prostituting. And for me, I didn't really think prostituting was a crime, but actually it was. But for me, the reason why I believe it wasn't is because through my life growing up, I got molested at the age of 4. And sad to say, I was distraught. But in a way, it just kind of made me felt good because I was being accepted. Whoa, first time sharing that. So I became addicted to having sex. The disease of addiction is, it's affects us in every area of our life, And that for me, sex, marijuana, crack, just anything to make me feel good because I didn't feel good about myself. I thought I wasn't worthy, So treatment, I I always needed it, and I believe that I needed that because I needed some help.
All right, I was an addict. I started at 4 at 18. So always before then, I always worked. So I always had, always had my own money. I was a person that I was scared to steal. I used to go to meetings and I would hear people share about homelessness. I would hear about their drug stories, the things they would share at their table. And at the time, I could never identify with any of them. So I always would lead them meetings and say, I'm nothing like these addicts. And in reality, I was, because I always had the car sitting out front. Because by me working at Ford, the job I had, I always could just say where I worked and get a job. Get a car, you know what I'm saying? So I just, like I said, at the end, I became everything I heard at the table. And that's when the reality hit me, man, and it just broke me down. You know what I'm saying? I just cried uncontrollably and wanted some help. And I'm glad there was a 12-step program around. And the people didn't judge me like I was judging them. You know what I'm saying? And they took me with open arms.
And now we go to our street reporter, LaShawn Battle, who's going to talk with some individuals who share with us their worst days.
I was working on Woodward. And I got in a person's car. This guy took me on Chicago between Oakland and Brush. And then while we was talking, like 13 other guys came after me and they made me take off all my clothes. And I told them the police was coming because the car was turning a corner. And I ran and I got away, booty hole, butt naked, and went to, thank God I had in-laws around the corner on Westminster and Brush. And I went and knocked on their door and I was naked and they kept letting me come in. And by the grace of God, thank God God was there at that time or I would have been dead. Something would have been wrong with me. So now I'm still here.
I was going to the crack house and I was attacked and left in the middle of Euclid and Woodward for dead. And I woke up 4 days later. I was in a coma for 4 days. And when I woke up, I was all kind of breathing machines, tubes running everywhere. And the doctors came and told my mother, when I came to, I couldn't talk because of the tubes, and they asked me to write down my name and address, so they contacted my mother. And the doctors told my mother, my family period, that your daughter's truly blessed. Because in all actuality, she wasn't supposed to survive.
Not being able to communicate with my family, being turned away by my family and laughed at by my friends that I grew up with. That was a really hurtful feeling, to be on drugs and hurting people that were close to me, and then be walking in the streets. It's wintertime now here in Detroit, and winter for an addict is really, really bad. Mm-hmm. You walk in the streets and it's cold outside and you ain't got no place to go. So that was really a hurtful thing for me, to be in the streets in the cold, and even in the summer, just walking around aimlessly.
My mother had went out of town, and when she wanted to go out of town, she wanted to see all her children around, but I was so busy getting high that I didn't get a chance to go see her. So she told my younger brother, when she comes in, don't let her in. She never told me not to leave or put me out, but she just told him not to let me in because she was so hurt that I didn't take time out to go see her off on her trip to go to Florida. So I ended up going over to my aunt's house, and this is my aunt that had like 3 or 4 grandkids, and they stayed with us. So when I couldn't get in, I went to her house, and as I was sleeping on the floor, my younger cousin kept teasing me, kept taunting me. As I was asleep, I kept hearing them say, "Look at her. She's disgusting. She ain't nothing but an old prostitute. She ain't nothing but an old crackhead." And they kept taunting me. They kept picking with me. And I could feel them pushing me. And I finally got so irritated that I just got up and left. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. But I just started walking, and my brother seen me walking, and he told me just come on to the house.
We'll be right back with more of individuals who share their story of cocaine use, their worst days, their recovery, and how long they've been clean. Don't go anywhere.
Save the date and come celebrate the Ask the Messengers TV show 3rd anniversary fundraiser dinner, Sunday, October the 6th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the always elegant Rooster Tail, 100 Marquette Drive, located in the heart of the Marina District in downtown Detroit. Join us for a night of entertainment, food, awards, and recovery celebrations. Yes, addiction is real, and we also know that recovery is possible. For more information on how you can sponsor a table, a ticket, or two, or maybe even a few, call 313-345-3668 or email us at askthemessengers@gmail.com. And be sure to watch Ask the Messengers TV show every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. on WMYD TV 20 Detroit. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Ask the Messengers TV show is a program that deals with substance abuse with real people sharing real stories. See you there.
Detroiters love Imperial Fresh Markets. You don't have to wait to receive our best deals by mail or handbill anymore. Now get our weekly sales circular early online at imperialfreshmarkets.com. Don't wait for delivery. Get the circular now at imperialfreshmarkets.com. Also check the website for special deals throughout the week. Check us out on Instagram too. imperialfreshmarkets.com, where Detroiters love to shop. Open daily.
We all know how hard it is to find great deals for insurance. That's why you gotta come and see me, Cousin Alex, located conveniently at 7 Mile and Schaefer. If you do have tickets, you do have accidents, I get it. Come on by my office and let me show you how I can get you that low down payments. So now you know where we at. Now you know who you need to come and see. Cousin Alex got you.
Call Cousin Alex at 313-340-4444. And don't forget to tell him, Ask the Messenger sent you. Today's show is all about there's no hope with coke. We often use the term here on Ask the Messengers, rock bottom. What is rock bottom? Rock bottom is when enough is enough, when you can't go any further. In fact, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's rock bottom.
Well, I had lost my job, and I never did, even though I went in treatment and I got out, I never did stop using it. And I remembered up at a car wash up on Puritan, and I had became homeless because the wife and my sister had PPOs on me, and I was at this car wash, and I remember when them lights went out at 11 o'clock up there on Puritan and the cell, I guess. And I asked the guys that I was up there getting high with, of course all the drugs were gone, could I go with them? And they told me no. And they was on their way to a vacant house, and me not knowing it, I could have just followed along. And I found myself up there alone. Couldn't go, realized I was home. I had PPOs, I couldn't go to the house where my family was. I couldn't go to the house where my sister stayed that we had inherited. And I had nowhere to go. And I remember breaking down crying up there. And it was at that moment that I reached out. You know, I was an addict. I always enjoyed using dope. I ain't never wanted to stop until I had lost my job. Until that moment, really. And that is what got me to where I'm at today. You know, I asked for some help, and a pastor I went back in treatment on my wife's insurance, and while I was in treatment, a pastor took me in to his 3-quarter house, and that was the beginning of where I'm at today.
That was really a difficult question, because even though I was attacked and I was all bandaged up, I still hadn't had enough. It was so bad that I walked with a limp, and in the wintertime my mother then would follow my footprints from dope house to dope house. Still hadn't had enough. It was just my season. It was just my time. I don't know exactly when the moment came. I wasn't suicidal. I just know that this wasn't the life that I was supposed to lead.
My daughters, at first my daughters did, you know. I love to hear my daughter say, "Daddy," and they big kids now. The final straw was me. You know, I'm looking at me, you look at yourself in the mirror, you shaving and your face all toe up, and I don't care how much hairline you try to get, it's just not happening. I don't care how nice you try to dress, it's just not happening when you use it, when you caught up. I just wasn't all right with myself. I was not okay with me, you know, and this is, like I said, this was a process of almost 30 years, you know. So when I see myself, the things that I was doing wasn't sitting right in here, you know, in my head, in my mind, you know, and those things would plague me, especially the periodic jolts of reality would plague me, which would cause me to go and use more.
Really, to be honest, was when my father closed the door in my face. You know, a lot of men, especially as black men, we don't have fathers to look up to, and I had a daddy. And when my daddy closed this door in my face and started talking to me through the door, that was the worst thing in the world that could have ever happened to me in my mind at the time. So I could not consider continuing to live life with my father being upset with me because of how I was living. And I chose to start finding different ways to get my life together. And it took about a month or two, and I ended up in treatment. And from that point forward, my life became better.
In the end, when the bottom fell out of everything for me, where crack cocaine had ravaged my life, so to speak, I was exposed by my family, which in reality they knew when I thought they didn't. It took actually stealing from my 90-year-old grandfather to the point that he was fearful for his own safety, right? And being exposed by my family, and being told that I had to leave.
37-year alcohol and drug addiction, 27-year crack cocaine addiction, been shot 9 times, booked, handcuffed, arrested, taken to jail 77 times. Looking at 22 and a half to 30 years in prison.
Today, we wanted to inform you that there is no hope in coke. There are many people who have, all those that we've interviewed, over 200 people who shared their stories. Most of them are recovering from some cocaine addiction. They tried to find some type of relief, but there was none to be found. And we want you to know that to not pick up is the best answer. But for those of you who may have already started, please know this. We're here to bring you the best information possible. There is no hope with coke.
What advice would you give to someone who's trying to quit?
Just don't give up on yourself. Just don't stop trying. It might not come instantly because your drug addiction didn't happen overnight, so your recovery won't happen overnight. It's that you just gotta have faith and believe in yourself that this is not what I'm put here on earth for. And once you get into the 12-step program, things just bound to change for you. Your life becomes so, you have that peace, that inner and outer peace. And that's something that no one can give you or take to you but you.
And I realized that in that 12-step program, it's important for me to live by those principles that they teach us in this program. When I stop living by the principles and start doing my own will, I'm subject to use. So I suggest anybody that needs some help that goes to a treatment center, pay attention to what the treatment facility is telling you and practice doing what they told you. They told me to make meetings, don't use. And that's what I do today.
Well, there's lots of resources for people in recovery as far as drug treatment rehabilitation centers, 12-step programs, peer support organizations. You know, there's so many different avenues now with all the different things that are going on, and with the government even putting more money now that I heard into trying to help people that are on opiate drugs and different kind of things. So it's lots of resources. It's a ton of resources, 800 numbers. So it's lots of ways that I can help, and I have an actual organization that we're doing things now to help people that are trying to. Well, we're mostly helping people that are in recovery to assist other people that are trying to get in recovery.
Listen, first, don't pick up. Don't pick up that first one. That's what they always told us. And my advice is get some help, and listen and do what people tell you to do. That's my advice. Listen, be open-minded to do what people tell you to do, because I was a real hard-headed addict because of the things I had in life and me working, and I basically, you know, I always started when I was young working. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing at all. That was my biggest problem too. I'm glad you asked that question. That was my biggest problem. Couldn't nobody never tell me nothing about me having a job from 18 and always made my own money and made my own way. So, you know, listen and let somebody tell you something, you know, and that'll help with recovery, you know. If they trying to stop, that's the only way. Let somebody tell you how to stop, and don't pick up the first one. That's the best suggestion I could give.
My advice to a person, if you're trying to quit, to my opinion, is go to treatment, get around positive people who gonna help you with your struggle. Get in a 12-step program after you finish with treatment. Go to church. Focus on positive people who gonna help you in your recovery. Because if you don't be around positive people, things will come along, because you're gonna deal with no matter what. And then you might go back out, because I know I'm living proof. Because even though I didn't have the 12-step program, I know God helped me, but I went back out. But thank God for the 12-step program, because I got 11 years clean. So my suggestion is, don't pick up that first one and hang around positive people.
Anybody struggling right now? The first thing you need to do is stop, if at all possible. Get away from whatever it is that's holding you back. Whatever drug that you may be using right now, you need to take a break from that drug, even if it's 10 minutes. Stop. Get yourself a moment of clarity. Long enough to ask somebody who may have some idea of what you're going through, how they stopped. That's what it took for me. Finally getting around somebody that had been through what I was going through and found a way out and was willing to help me find that same way out. It doesn't work for everybody, but you have to start somewhere. And the first thing you have to do is stop.
If you've been using regularly, going back and forth, go to a place to detox. But wherever you go or whatever you do, make sure you connect with a fellowship. 12-step programs help quite a bit. It reminded me that there is a place to go and that recovery is possible. That recovery is happening all around us.
Don't do it. I guarantee, I put my life on it. You will regret it. You will regret it.
If we can stay high for 30 years, we have tremendous talents. We have tremendous gifts. Find a way to use those gifts and talents constructively. Give back to the community. You have information somebody needs. If you can stay alive out there, you can live in recovery and live well.
We'll be back with more Ask the Messengers.
Save the date and come celebrate the Ask the Messengers TV show 3rd anniversary fundraiser dinner, Sunday, October the 6th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the always elegant Rooster Tail, 100 Marquette Drive, located in the heart of the Marina District in downtown Detroit. Join us for a night of entertainment, food, awards, and recovery celebrations. Yes, addiction is real, and we also know that recovery is possible. For more information on how you can sponsor a table, a ticket, or two, or maybe even a few, call 313-345-3668 or email us at askthemessengers@gmail.com. And be sure to watch Ask the Messengers TV show every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. on WMYD TV 20 Detroit. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Ask the Messengers TV show is a program that deals with substance abuse with real people sharing real stories. See you there.
Hi, this is Tony from Expert Car Care on 8 Mile between Wyoming and Livernois. I'd like to welcome you to Detroit City, where the potholes are also Come on in for our $10 Spring and Sprung Make You Holler Pothole Safety Inspection. Come on in. I'm going to help you out today. Call me right now at 313-341-6666 and I can qualify you with our 90-day same-as cash plan. All you need is a checking account. Car repair comes at the worst time. Call me right now at 341-6666 for our 90-day same-as cash plan.
Hi, my name is Brenda Owens. I work at Greenfield Hair Collection, and I love doing hair. I've been doing it for almost 30 years now, actually. And I do a little bit of everything. This style right here is a pin curl. This is my weekly client, Lenise, short and sassy. She just got a fresh haircut last week. The name of the salon is Greenfield Hair Collection. We're located on Greenfield between Outer Drive and Curtis. I'm on the second level. My name is Brenda. My phone number is 313-729-8194. Give me a call. I love what I do.
I'm Artesia Washington, and I'd like to welcome you to Irvine Head Injury, where restoring you to your previous level of functioning is our goal. We offer services such as physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, aquatic therapy, massage therapy, and counseling. An automobile accident is an unfortunate event. If you feel that you or a loved one can benefit from our services, you can be reached at 248-415-2500. We look forward to hearing from you.
Changing an addict's life and providing support to the addict's family is the goal of the Live Right Structured Recovery Corps. Free yoga and spiritual recovery classes on Thursday, automotive maintenance class, and physical nutritional classes on Friday. Visit their new residential recovery resource center located at 27700 Gratiot Avenue in Roseville, Michigan. Live Right also accepts donations of cars, trucks, boats, and campers in any condition. For more information and a complete list of their events, go to their website at liverightstructuredcorp.com or call 586-217-5899. Life short, live right. Today's show has been all about There's No Hope with Coke. We interviewed over 200 individuals, and many of them are recovering from some type of cocaine addiction. On today's show, you heard real stories from real people. They shared how they got involved with cocaine. They shared their worst days, their rock bottom, but they also talked about recovery, and that recovery is possible. If we can share anything with you here on Ask the Messengers today, we want you to know that you should never, ever even begin, because cocaine is one of the most addictive drugs that is out there. Many people started by saying, I'm just doing this for fun, I'm just doing this for leisure, but not understanding that even though you're just trying to do it once or twice, it's going to hook you and keep you. And before you know it, you'll lose family, you'll lose jobs, you'll lose your belongings. We want you to know here at Ask the Messengers, don't get started, because there is no hope with coke. We want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching the show, because we here at Ask the Messengers truly believe that love is what love does, and we want to love you to life. See you next time. Won't you help us to do exactly what our motto is, and that is to help save lives? Won't you send a generous donation to the information there on the screen? We would love to have you as part of our partnership to help save lives.